How many of you have heard of heart math? Quite a few of you. So Doc Lou Childress wrote a book, and he said, Joan, that's what he said. So I thought it would be good. I mean, we've got a lot of energy in this room, don't we? It's already stirred up. But let's maximize it, because in the energy of love magnetized and maximized, amazing things could happen. You never know. You might walk out of here different than you came in. Maybe wings, maybe light emanating from your heart and soul. So join with me in reading this and let the words sink into every cell and atom of your being. Love is the cream, come on y'all. Love is the cream essence of efficient and caring action. Love acts as a solvent that dissolves the negative while acting as a tonic to accent your positive, thereby increasing your overall quality of experience. Love is the most effective energy expenditure known to us. When love goes out, it comes back, period. Humans have tried everything to solve the stress overload except to practice loving more. So here it is. So crank up your old heart and start loving more. So in that spirit, don't go up and down the aisles, okay? Just would you jump up, and reach somewhere next to you, behind you, in front of you, and give some love to a couple people right now. Okay. If you're here for the first time, don't you just love, you can sit down. If you're here for the first time, how was that? You didn't get freaked out, did you? I have 3 intentions for the next hour and a half. Just kidding. Just kidding. 20 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. 3 intentions. 1 is to inspire each of us into an extraordinary choice. 2 is to open your hearts to the possibilities as a result of making that choice. And 3 is to offer 3 practices for making those possibilities realities. So let's get started. Every teaching of Jesus Christ, who is our way shower, and spiritual masters from all of the faith traditions, all their teachings point to one choice. Guess what it is? Love. Close, but no cigar. Try again. No. Love is a great thing. It's the energy of miracles. But that's not the one I'm thinking of. Well, that was a good one too. But not the one I'm thinking of. Faith, that's a great one. But not the one I'm thinking of. We're getting hot. One was spirit, yes. But that's not it. You're getting really hot now, really hot. It is to be happy. Happy. It is to be happy. When you're loving, are you happy? When you are faith-filled, are you happy? When you're joyful, are you happy? When you're forgiving, are you happy? One choice. So on the happy meter today, 1 being low, 10 being high. Where's your meter? I have one honest person here. No, maybe we're all at a 10. Are there days when you're not? So you ask the question, what would it take to get me to a 10 right now? What would it take? So today, what I want to engage us in is an exploration into this one choice, into unleashing our infinite creative energy in one choice and support it with actions to follow. Actions worth taking. So I have a theme for the year. Do you? Yes, no, maybe? Well, I love to get themes for the year that keep me on my spiritual edge and not let me topple over the edge, you know what I mean? But my theme for the year is a year for the amazing and the marvelous. Wouldn't that be wonderful to have a year in which amazing and marvelous things happen in and through and for us and by us? Are you willing? Yes. I am willing to create a year that is amazing and marvelous. Together, I am willing to create a year that is amazing and marvelous. And so today is about that. A choice worth making, moment to moment, and actions worth taking. The Magic Kingdom, how many of you have been to the Magic Kingdom? How many of you know what I'm talking about? Some of you don't. So the Magic Kingdom is, well, there are two. There's one in Anaheim, California, and there's one in Orlando, Florida. The Magic Kingdoms were the brainchild of a man from Kansas City whose creative energy and vision and one choice would not be diminished, despite being told when he was an illustrator right here in KC that he didn't have the talent to make it. Walt Disney was a possibility thinker who had a vision for the expression of his creative energies, a vision that would not be diminished despite delays, difficulties, disappointments. And so today, millions of people enjoy Disneyland, Disney World, Frozen, The Beauty and the Beast, and so many wonderful animated movies. No telling what you and I could do if we could hold on to what makes us happy and what fulfills us and act on it. Remember who his first character was? No? I have a hat at home. I didn't bring it with me. It lights up. It's a wizard's hat. And it's got little black ears that come out the side. I'm giving you clues now. His first character was Mickey Mouse. And Mickey had this very special hat. And when he put on that hat, he could work miracles. He'd have his hat and his wand, and he'd point in the direction he wanted the manifestation to take place, and voila. You and I don't have to put on a hat. We have to put on a frame of mind. And we don't have to have a magic wand to point. We simply point our mind and our actions in the direction of what's going to make us happy, what's going to be fulfilling. So I want to put this in the context of the 4 Ps. Did any of you read The Untethered Soul? Great book, isn't it? So Michael Singer, the author of that book, said this: you have to realize that you really only have one choice in your life. It's not your career, it's not who you're going to marry, and it's not whether or not you're going to seek God. It is to be happy. Yes. You know, I knew I should have brought some prizes. To be happy. So in that context, 4 P's. 4 P's, Joan. 4 P's, Joan. There. The first P is principle. The second one is pitfall. Pitfall. The third one is promise. And the fourth one is practice. So here's the first principle. It is the third law of spiritual dynamics. And y'all know what it is. I'm going to come down right now and give you a test. And Judy, I'm not going to ask you, I'm going to ask Mary Ann. The third law of spiritual dynamics is?
What are we talking about?
The third law of spiritual dynamics is kind of a 21st century name for the third basic principle of unity. And what is that, Patricia?
Prayer and meditation.
Anyone else? Who said that?
Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind.
A round of applause, please. Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. Think happy, and what do you get? Happy thoughts create a happy heart. So the first principle then is thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. And there's the pitfall. The challenge to keeping our thoughts happy. It's very scriptural. In fact, our textbook here, the Bible, is loaded with examples of pitfalls. This one is from John chapter 5, verses 2 through 8. Now there is in Jerusalem the Sheep's Gate Pool, which in Hebrew is called Bethesda, having 5 porticos. In these lay a great multitude of sick people, lame, paralyzed, waiting for the moving of the waters. An angel comes down into the pool and stirs the waters. And after that, whoever gets into the waters with whatever disease is healed. Now, a certain man was laying in one of these porticos with an infirmity of 38 years. It's a long time, baby. When Jesus saw him and knew that he had been there for a long time in that condition, he said to him, "Do you want to be made well?" And the man answered him, "Sir, I have no one to help me and put me in the waters." And blah, 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 blah. He went on and on with the excuses. And Jesus would not engage any of the excuses. He didn't say, "Oh, gosh, I understand where you're coming from. Just no wonder you're not getting in the water. People get in front of you. God, doesn't it make you mad?" He never said any of that. Never engaged any of the excuses. He simply said, as the Christ in us says, "Do you want to be made well? Yes or no?" John represents love. Jerusalem, where the Sheep's Gate pool is, represents a mind of peace, a mind focused in the good, not in what's disturbing. Bethesda represents a willingness to be purified, changed. The Sheep Gate pool represents the doorway of choice. And we always have a choice, moment to moment. Whether or not we're aware of it, every thought we think is a choice. The 5 porticos represent the real pitfall, our 5 senses. And Jesus refers to that as appearances, circumstances, what's out here. So Jesus said to the man, do you want to be healed? Do you want to be made well? Says to us, in all of those circumstances of our lives that challenge us, says, do you want to be made well? Take your pick. Yes or no? And let your actions follow that choice. So we know what the man did, right? He got up and he picked up his pallet and walked. So the pitfall. The pitfall then is the human condition. The human condition that goes automatically to judging by appearances, judging by what we see out there or what we hear, what's happening. We look out there and then make inside here congruent with what's out there, which is all fine and good if what's out there is love and light and joy and happiness. But if it's not such a good idea. So the pitfall. Like this. I have a friend who used to work in a production line up in Detroit, Motown. And she hated her job. Anyone out there hating their job? She hated her job. And she would complain to anybody who would listen. And her thoughts were focused on how she did not like anything about that job. And guess what she got more of? By the 3rd spiritual law, she got more of what she thought about. Well, she happened to have she wound up in a Unity church, wouldn't you know it? And her teacher, as she was complaining to her teacher, said, listen, do you want to be made well? Well, I don't know if she said exactly that, but she said, try this. Try giving your best every day, no matter what. Try being your best and giving your best, no matter what. And then give thanks for that job. Did she want to do that? No, but she did. And within a year, she was made Employee of the Year. And she went on to better things because she gave her best right where she was. She kept her focus on giving her best and on being grateful. Or how about this one? How about Voyager 2 last month? Did any of you follow that trip to Pluto? 9 years and 2.6 billion miles for New Horizons to land, to circle Pluto. Can you imagine the frame of mind that the scientists had to keep? Could they focus on all of the failures that were possible? Well, they did when they had to create the technology. But you know what? They had to be possibility thinkers to begin with. They had to hold the vision of the possibility and let every action support that vision. We're going to make it to Pluto. 9 years later, almost as long as the paralytic was lying in the portico. Or how about this one? March 17th, Dancing with the Stars. A gentleman named Noah Galloway took the stage and gave a presentation that stunned everyone there and all the TV viewers. Why? Because Noah Galloway had his left arm and leg blown off while serving in Iraq. He tells the story of how he went into a very deep depression and how he struggled like the paralytic sitting in the portico to get out of that. But there came a day when he must have heard the Christ in him saying, "Do you want to be well?" And he said yes, and picked up his pallet and walked into the perfection of expression on Dancing with the Stars. You know, you and I have that same power. That same power. So today, and maybe this week, make that an experiment, like I have to also. We only get one shot here, and I can't remember if it was Woody Allen. He said, but if you do it right, it's all you need. So, the promise. The promise is from John 4:35. Great, Joan. It is. You have heard it said, yet 4 years until harvest. I say to you, lift up your eyes and see that today is ripe for harvest. The truth, the promise is that today in each of our lives and each day, the fields of our life are ripe for harvesting good and happiness. Do you believe that? Yes. Will you do it with me? So the 3 practices. I'm not saying these are all. I'm saying here are 3 that you can really count on. And the acronym, Joan, you're doing so great. The acronym is FAA, which stands for? That's one of your singers and soloists right there. The Federal Aviation Administration. I said that because, okay, if I pick something like that, everyone will be able to remember, right? So F is for focus. This infinite creative mind that we have needs to keep a focus on happiness. Keep a focus on, well, it always helps to know what makes you happy. To keep a focus on the good. To keep a focus on the infinite possibilities. To keep the focus on a vision that you have. To keep a focus on the desire for good that lives in your heart. To keep a focus on your gifts and talents and how you can best express them today. Simple but not easy. Our minds are like, whew. But we can haul them in. We can take charge of the focus. Take charge of our thinking, right? And keep it focused. The second thing, the second practice is act. Take some action. Take some positive action. I was listening to a man named Sharon Archer. I think that's the way you pronounce his name. He is a PhD out of Harvard and worked with the project called The Science of Happiness. And probably many of you have been reading the same stuff I have, the same thing that Sean said, and that is we can rewire our consciousness, our brain, by the actions we take and the thoughts we think. So what if you were to write a gratitude list every day for the next 21 days? That would be a very productive, effective action to take, because gratitude creates dopamine, and dopamine is the secret ingredient, the secret chemical that opens all the portals of our creativity. What if we did a random act of kindness each day for the next 21 days? And also, as part of action, is prayer and meditation. What someone over here said. It was Patricia who said it. Prayer and meditation. All the spiritual gurus forever have always said the way to Bethesda is through prayer and meditation. It contributes to rewiring the brain. Prayer is cumulative, and so is the power of meditation. The more we do it, the more spiritual power we have. And finally, appreciation. There are 3 dimensions of appreciation. One is to give thanks for everything we have. The second is to give thanks for the miracle in the mess. And the third is to give thanks for the good we want. Give thanks in advance. So what if you and I were to practice that every day? To write, I believe in writing it down as well as thinking it, because the more senses you engage, the more powerful the effect, the result. So writing a gratitude list. I'm grateful for all the good I have. I'm grateful for the miracle in this situation, and I'm grateful for this, that, and the other thing that I'd welcome into my life. Are you ready? Okay, let's do a little review. The 4 P's are thoughts held in mind produce after their what you think about you bring about. The pitfall is monkey mind, judging by appearances. And the 3rd P is, the promise is, the fields of your life are ripe for harvest. There's some good today. Oh, there's some good right here. There's some good right over in fellowship. There's some good at the Prosperity Prescriptions workshop I'm doing. I hope you're all coming. There's some good every day. And the practices are focus, act, appreciate. Yes!